Daylight is one of the most powerful tools in filmmaking, and also it's completely free. In this video, I'm going to show you two simple daylight only setups for indoors, one for a sunny day and one for an overcast day. I'm going to show you exactly how you can shape and control the existing light to your advantage. And you can use this kind of setup for any kind of talking head interview or YouTube video. So this is the situation for our first setup. We don't have direct sunlight or anything hitting my face or me. And well, let's have a look at the image here. This looks pretty soft, pretty evenly lit. And well, what you always want to do if you use natural light only, you want to place your subject really close to your light source. In this case here, the window. And this is going to get you just very soft and even light, which is a bit boring now, but we're going to work on that. And also, as you might notice, I didn't place myself like really straight against the window, but more at this kind of angle here for a couple of reasons. First of all, composition. It just looks much nicer if you place your subject here in the corner of the room and not just have like a straight wall behind it. This looks much more 3D and dynamic. And also what I achieved by that is this kind of darker side on one side of the face and the bright side, which is on the window side. And it's not very obvious, but you can clearly see this kind of tendency of brighter to darker here, and we're definitely going to work on that to make it even stronger. So I'm sure you have heard this before, shoot into the shadow side. This is something I always try to do to make it interesting. And we have this shadow side of the face here and we're shooting into it, and we have the brighter side of the face, which is on the other side. And also a last thing about the composition. If you have watched my last video, I already talked about this pattern of light and dark that you can see in basically all of the movies and TV shows. And this is just a recipe to make your images more interesting. And so also here, I already tried to set the foundation for this. We have this light part of my face and this darker part of the wall here in the back, and then light again and dark and light. So this kind of pattern is already there, and we're now going to make it even more obvious. So for the first shot, I had my curtains opened, but this was still a bit harsh, or it could be even softer. So I decided to close everything, and here is the result. You can see, first of all, the light on my face is a bit softer, but also we lost quite a bit of exposure on my face. So it's a bit darker. So you might need to change the exposure in camera and make it a bit brighter. But other than that, we don't have a lot of change. We still have this kind of really flat look on my face, this flat light. And so what I did next, I brought in a big negative fill. So this is just a large, thick piece of black fabric that is just supposed to block a lot of light that would otherwise just reflect all around the room and back onto me and make everything flat, as you have seen before. So this negative fill really blocks this light here and helps us get more contrast on my face. Now, if you don't have a huge piece of black fabric, although I would really recommend getting one, you can also use the dark side of your 5-in-1 reflector, but just be aware that this is more reflective than black fabric. And also it's not as large. So the bigger the negative fill, the more effect it's gonna have. And also I decided to open the last one of the curtains here to just let in some more light on the background. And here we can see the difference. And this is quite a big change on my face with this simple tool called negative fill. And we get a lot more contrast, and this kind of dark side is now really obvious, and we have this really nice transition from light to dark. And so now this pattern of light, and dark is really obvious and just makes this image stand out. If it is too much contrast, too much shadow for your taste, you can just move back your negative fill a bit from your subject and the effect of the shadow will be reduced. But this is also, of course, a matter of taste, and I quite like it this way. Now, you could say this is really unrealistic because there is no space for anyone sitting here and being the interviewer, for example. And that is a fair point. That's why I also tried this setup. So I just moved in a second chair and made some more space for someone else to sit. And I didn't have to change a whole lot. I just moved everything back a bit. I still used the negative fill and everything else stayed the same. And here you have the result. It is just a bit of a wider shot also, which I quite like. And we still have the same lighting on my face. We can compare. That's the first one and that's the second image. The shadows might be a bit more defined here because the closer you are with your shot size and your negative fill, the more contrast you will have on the face. But still, in my eyes, this looks very nice. Well, apart from my sad eyes. And for our next setup, we have the exact same room, the same angle basically, but just a different lighting situation. We have direct sunlight. It is in the morning. And also, again, I have my curtains opened up to make the light softer because, well, it looks harsh already, but it would be even harsher without diffusion. And the image is basically not terrible. Well, I have to squint my eyes, obviously, but still, we would have some shadow, some light parts, some shadow, some light. So this kind of pattern we had before is already there, but it's not ideal. It doesn't look too flattering. So let's make this a bit more controlled. What I did, I brought in a boom stand and I opened up the curtain that was right in front of me. So I would get direct sunlight on my body. But then I also brought in a piece of fabric. Well, it's basically an old curtain of mine. And I guess it would be comparable to unbleached muslin, which is used all the time on film sets. So it's a bit of a warmer fabric that is thicker than the curtains I already have here. So it's making the light quite a lot softer. And I didn't put it all the way. I just put it there where the sun would hit my face. And still let the sun hit my body. So here's the result from this change. And as you can see, first of all, it got quite a lot darker because, well, the unbleached muslin is just thicker and so it's diffusing the light more, but also we're losing some brightness. And as you can see, it's just really soft compared to what we had before in this image here. So just from this little change, we got super soft light on my face. And we still have this nice streaks of sunlight on my body. It adds to the existing pattern of light, dark, light, dark. We have some more of that. But yeah, now it looks kind of dark compared to this. So what I did next, I opened the last curtain here to let in some direct sunlight on the background and just moved the majority of the curtains to the front here. I just left this single curtain right here to just help diffuse the light that hits me. And also, again, I added the negative fill to help with the contrast on my face. And I kind of built this window around me with curtains and diffusion and negative fill to my shadow side. And here we have the final result. We have some highlights from the sun on my body and here in the back. We have a lot of contrast on my face from light to dark. And just the overall brightness levels in the room, in my opinion, are now high enough to make it feel like friendly and sunny. Super simple but very effective techniques to control daylight. Especially negative fill is something you should really put in your toolbox. It is something I use all the time and it's one of the most important techniques in lighting, in my opinion at least. If you haven't watched my recent video where I transformed my bathroom into a movie set, you should go watch that now. And if you found this video helpful, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because there is definitely more stuff coming. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.